Today we have in this Ford Transit Connect Tourneo, and we are going to be changing the aircon condenser, which is behind the front here. So this is a 2022 reg, so let's get the whole front end off, get into it, and I'll show you exactly how to change it. So this is the first time that I'll be doing this job, and I haven't seen any videos online, so I thought I would make you one today. So what we need to do is get the front end off of this so we can get access to the aircon condenser, which is behind. We have our new part from Ford, and so we need to figure out what we're going to do. So firstly we need to take off all of the fixings that hold the top of the bumper on, so all the way along here, all the way up there, and then we're going to go down into the inner wheel arch, and then we got these Torx screws that hold all the bumper on. Hopefully we can get it off. There's probably some underneath, but let's start and see what we can do. So like I said, first of all, got some 25 Torx screws all the way along the top here. I'm just going to take out, and we're just going to pop them up in this little scuttle panel here so we know which ones go where. So that's all the screws out the top here. As you can see, it's quite loose, and where it goes round the headlight here, these will just be clips that just push in to fix. Same along here, but there will be screws just underneath there, and this little rubber has a clip, so we just pull this clip out here, and then hopefully what we'll be able to do is pull it off from here. But first we need to get some more screws out. So there's one 25 Torx that goes up from here into the wing, and then you've got 3 more that hold the inner wheel arch liner on. And then with a sharp tug, that side comes out. So I'm just going to have a little look underneath, and there are a few more 25 Torxes under here, again holding the inner wheel arch liner to the bumper, and I think we're going to have quite a few underneath at the very bottom of the bumper. So just under here you can see one there I've taken out, the next one I've taken out, and they go all the way along the bottom of the bumper, same around the other side to detach it from the undershield. So we're going to take them out. So that's all of our Torx bolts out, the top and the bottom that we can see. So now I'm just going to pull the bumper and try and figure out where the rest of the fixings are. I'll give that a sharp tug. So now we are detached from both sides. And now we can come away from the vehicle, and we will have some plugs that plug into the fog lights. I'm just going to try and figure out how these plugs work and how they come off. Okay, so we have two larger plugs that we need to take off. Right, with it fully unplugged, we can now move it completely out of the way. Okay, so let me show you these little plugs. So, in each fog light, you need to pull down this grey clip and then squeeze it together and pull it off. Then going around the other side, you have the same plug, pull down the grey clip, squeeze together, and then these two larger plugs. One is a push and pull, and this one is your typical VW plug, where you have to pull the tab here to unlock it and then pull it off. They are a little bit tight, but now that's off, we are going to be changing this condenser, because this one has a pinhole bit of damage right there, and that is leaking out aircon gas, and that's why we are replacing this today. So now we need to figure out our next steps of what we're going to do. Also, the bonnet release handle is here on the top. I forgot to say, you pull that up out of the holder here. It's just a splined bar that fits in there, and that allows you to open the bonnet. Something else we can do is we can take the new one out of the packaging and look at the fixing points, so we can roughly see how it's going to mount and what exactly we need to take off to get access to this part. As you can see here, there's already some damage to all the plastics at the front, so this has probably had a little front end impact at some point in its life. So we start removing these plastics. Obviously this one's a bit worse for wear, but they do just have push fit clips in the side. Being careful not to damage the plastics any further. That's the other side out, and again that just gives us a little bit more access to see inside how it is connected. Little bits of foam squished in there, we can just pull them out. There's going to be one either side. Now we can see exactly what we are doing. So if I come around and show you guys, so we have one access point here, and actually it looks like it slots down onto the coolant rad on both ends and the bottom here. So what I'm hoping is, if we take off these aircon pipes, move them out of the way, we might even be able to just lift this off enough and pull it out and slide it out through the bottom, and then slide the new one in. So let's give that a try. We get a 30 Torx, and we're going to undo our air conditioning pipes. Set those to the side. Just going to pull the pipes out. There's no gas in here because it's already leaked out. So we can literally pull them to the side like that, and hopefully if it's going to be nice to us. Let's have a look. So don't know whether you can see here, but on the top of here there's a little clip, so you can't lift it up without pushing that clip in first. So we're going to have to push that one in and on the other side, and then see if we can lift it up. That sounded promising. And again on the other side, just get your flathead screwdriver, push that little bit of plastic in and slide it up. And could this potentially be one of the best designs ever? Oh wow, look at that. So with a little bit of jiggling, the whole compressor comes straight out the bottom. Wow, look at that. Now that is good. That's one of the better designs that I've seen. I've recently done a Ford Puma, if you go back and watch that video, on how to change one of these, and the whole front end has to come off, separated from the rad and everything. So let's get our new one, slide it back in and get this job finished. So we have our brand new one, which you can only get from Ford, of course, at the moment. Nobody does a pattern one. And at a cost of £300. They're not the cheapest thing in the world for what they are. So what we need to do is get all 4 tabs lined up perfectly, and then we are going to see if we can push it down into position. We heard that just clip in, and the other side's already clipped in. Wow, okay guys, that's actually really good. That's actually already in position, already locked in on the tabs. So now what we're going to do is put our aircon pipes back in. So we pull out these little bungs that stop all the rubbish going into the new one. And if we just line up our pipes, first of all check your seals, because I don't think this come with new seals. No, typically main dealer parts. So we're going to check our seals, make sure they're in good condition, which these ones are, because it's not very old at all. So carefully push them in nice and straight. Get our 30 Torx bolts. We'll just get them started by hand, because the last thing you'll want to do is cross thread them into the new expensive condenser. Once that's started, we can get our 30 Torxes done up, and that is your new condenser fitted. So now we're going to have to just put our plastics back on, put our foam inserts back in, so these foam inserts are like anti-vibration dampers by the feel of it. And just slot them back in nicely, and they're good to go. Then we can take our plastic trim, slide it back down into position. This side was a little bit tight coming out, so hopefully not very tight going back in. There we go. So that all lines up nicely. Let's just grab the other side. So this one's not really doing much because it's quite broken. but we will fit it back because we took it off. So that's our broken plastics back in, which is good. So now we can literally lift the bumper on. So with our bumper nearly back on, we're going to go in the inner wheel arch and just put all of our electrical connections back together. So we've got our two big plugs, and then we've got our fog lamp. So that just pushes on, and then the grey clip pushes in to lock it in position. And on this side, the two large plugs, they have a clip that they sit into on the bumper. So we're just going to push that back down onto its clip. And that's good. Okay, so now we've pushed the bumper all back into position. When you are putting the bonnet release back in, make sure it goes in splines correctly and you can see the latches opening and closing. It does have a little like slide in bit here, so you just pull the bumper back, slide it in, and it all lines up nicely. So now we can go ahead and put all of our Torx bolts back in, which I will go ahead and do now. Okay, that's all of our Torx bolts back in the top. We've clipped in our little rubber on both ends. So now we just need to put all of the Torx screws back in underneath and in the wheel arches, and then we can go ahead and gas up the system and make sure it works. So we've got the one Torx bolt that goes into the wing, which holds the bumper tightly to the wing, and then we have the three for the inner wheel arch liner. And then we have all of the ones that go underneath, and the same in the other side. Okay, that's all of our Torx bolts in the top, sides and the bottom. So now let's gas up the aircon. This takes the new gas, our 1234YF. This one actually takes 460 grams to fill. So we're going to get the machine over, gas it up, and then we'll come back and test it. Okay, so we are now hooked up on the high and low pressure side of the aircon machine, and we are now going to let this run through its process. So we'll come back when this is finished, and then we will turn it on and test it. Okay, so that's the whole front end put back together. The aircon is now regassed with the correct amount of gas and is blowing out icy cold. So that is how you change your aircon condenser in the new style Ford Transit Connect. This is a Tourneo. But if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.